Good morning, second grade. Welcome to Language Arts class. We have lesson 13 today, and it's talking some more about compound sentences. So today we are using the word or instead of the other two words that we learned about a few days before. So compound sentences are two sentences and they're joined together with another word and a comma, just like that Oreo cookie. The word in the middle is like the icing and it joins the two sentences together. So today we have about the word or that will join two sentences together. Let's first of all do some review. We have the suffixes chart here. So we will go over the suffixes chart here. Number 1, it says when a word ends with ch, sh, s, x, or z, add es, like churches, wishes, buses, foxes, and buzzes. Number 2, when a word has, number 1, a vowel set or ends with two consonants, or the suffix is a consonant suffix, just add the suffix. Like a vowel set in team, teaming, you will just add the suffix. The vowel set is EA, or if it ends with two consonants like jump, MP and jump, just add the suffix. Or if the suffix is a consonant suffix like LESS, it's a consonant suffix because it starts with a consonant, so you just add the suffix. Okay, and then we have number 3 here. When a word ends with silent E, drop the E before adding a vowel suffix. So we have bake, and we will drop the E before we add the suffix because it has a silent E in it. Number 4, when a word ends with a short vowel and one consonant, double the consonant before adding a vowel suffix. Like we have run, it ends with a short vowel and one consonant, so we will need to double that consonant before we add the suffix. And then number 5, when a word ends with a vowel and Y, just add the suffix. So we have key here, it's a vowel and a Y, so we're just going to add the suffix. Number 6, when a word ends with a consonant and Y, change the Y to I before adding a suffix. So we have fry here, and so we will need to it has a consonant and a Y, so we need to change that Y to I and then add the suffix. Number 7, when a word ends with Y, keep the Y when changing the suffix ing. So we have fly here, we need to keep that Y before adding a ing suffix. Number 8, when a word ends with a silent E, keep the E when adding a consonant suffix. Like safe, it ends with a silent E, so we will keep the E when adding a consonant suffix. So we have a consonant suffix here. Consonant suffix, they start with consonants like ly, so we need to keep the E whenever we have a consonant suffix. And then number 9, when a word ends with FE, change FE to VE and add S, like knife, it ends with FE, so we need to change it to VE before we add, and also add an S to make it. So S is their suffix, and so whenever you have FE, you need to change it to VE and then add the S. And then we have number 10. Also, when a word ends with F, change the F to V and add ES, like leaf. So it ends with F, so we need to change it to V and add ES, like leaves. And then number 11, when a word ends with FF, add S, just plain add S, like cuff ends with FF, so we just add a plain S and make it say cuffs. Okay, so that's the suffixes chart. Suffixes are letters added at the end of root words, and they, yes, those are the different rules for that. Okay, so let's review a little bit the friendly letter. So the 5 parts of a friendly letter. I'll get the chart here and you can look at the 5 parts again. Okay, this is our familiar looking paper. We have the heading up here, which is the greeting, and that's always on the top right corner. And then we have the greeting, which the greeting is addressing the letter, who you're addressing the letter to, and that is over on the left side of the letter, right underneath the date. You can skip a line or so. And then we have the body and the closing and the signature. 5 parts of the friendly letter. So the 5 parts of the friendly letter are heading, greeting, body, closing, and signature. Now, which 3 parts need a comma? So remember which 3 parts need a comma? So we have a comma in the heading here. After the date is a comma, and then we have also a comma after the greeting, after the name that you're writing it to, and then also a comma at the end of the closing. So which words get capitalized in the greeting? In the greeting, only the first letter of each word get capitalized. First letter of each word in the greeting get capitalized. And then also in the closing, you have only the first letter of the first word. So if you have, there's different ways to have a closing. You can have the words your friend, or you can have the words maybe sincerely. You might not have heard of that a whole lot, but sincerely, or your friend, or with love. But you will capitalize only the first letter of the first word in the closing. The greeting, you will capitalize every letter of the word, every first letter of each word in the greeting. In the closing, only the first word will get a capital letter. Okay, so compound sentences, let's review those a little bit. What punctuation do you need in a compound sentence? So you always need a comma in a compound sentence, and the comma comes just before the added word that you put in. So just before and or but, you will put a comma in your compound sentence. Okay, so let's review our lesson for today now. Today we have about compound sentences with the word or in it. So let's read the teaching box. You can open up your books if you don't have them open yet, and you can read along with me. I'm going to read the teaching box and you can follow along. It says compound sentences with or. You have learned to join sentences with and or but to make compound sentences. Some sentences can be joined with or. Put a comma at the end of the first sentence and add or. Then write the last sentence. So we have 2 sentences here, and they say, we must eat the fruit, it will spoil. Well, they joined that with or, and they made it say, we must eat the fruit, comma, or it will spoil. Now let's review a little bit what the word or means. The word or is used to indicate an alternative. So those words might be a little bit big for you, but alternative means being one of the things between which a choice is to be made. So if you have kind of like, you have like a choice to make. So you have, let's say you either have cookies, you can either have cookies or crackers. So you have a choice there to be made, so you use the word or in that choice. Just the same way as in the example, we must eat the fruit or it will spoil. Well, if we choose not to eat the fruit, it will spoil. So we use the word or in there because it's a choice to be made. Okay, now let's look over here on the board, and we have sentences to join in with the word or. So the first sentence says, Roger feeds his dog. He does not get supper. So it wouldn't really make sense to say Roger feeds his dog and he does not get supper. That would kind of change the meaning a little bit. And it wouldn't also not be really good to say Roger feeds his dog, but he does not get supper. So we need to use that new word that we learned today, or. Or would be a really good one to put in there. So we'll put, we'll rewrite this sentence, and we'll put in the right word that it means. Roger feeds his dog, comma, or he does not get supper. Okay, and then we have the next sentence here. Tommy tied his shoestrings. He might have stumbled. So again, or is a good choice to put in there. Tommy tied his shoestrings, or he might have stumbled. So we'll go ahead and write this sentence again and make it into a compound sentence. Okay, so that's what you're learning about today, second grade. Let's go over some phonics cards again with different sounds. So we learned that EAR says the sound as in pearl. And we have this one here about the sounds of ED suffixes today. So since we kind of talked about suffixes earlier, we have ED is a suffix and it makes different sounds, like sailed makes the D sound, puffed makes the T sound, and floated makes the UD sound. 3 different sounds of the ED suffix. And we have the sounds of OUGH here again. So it can say O as in though, ow as in bow, uff as in rough, off as in trough, and oo as in through. And then we have this one, URE can say the ur sound, so as in pure. And then we have the or sound. So there's 4 different ways to spell the or sound, 3 different ways to spell the or sound. So we have OUR as in for, OAR as in board, OOR as in doors. All right, so you also are working with present and past today. Again, remember that present is something that's happening like right now, like in the present, and then past is something that happened like maybe a day or 2 ago or an hour ago. That is in the past. It's something that has happened already. Let's now go into penmanship. So today you are making the capital letter L. And the capital letter L, it starts at the middle of the line. So it starts at the midline, like this, and then it makes a deep undercurved stroke to the headline, and then it curves left and slants to the baseline and curves left again and goes like that. So let's make another one again, and we will go start at the middle of the line and go up like this and slant down to the baseline, make a loop and go like that. All right, your words today, your word that you're going to write is Lord. And then, yeah, you're going to be practicing other letters that you have learned already in the past. You have the J and the D and the I and the S and the G and the F. Let's practice those over here. So the J we just had yesterday, so let's practice the J here. So we start at the baseline with the J and we go up like this, come slanting down and go like that. Then we have the D, go slanting down to the baseline, make a loop, go like that, D. The I starts on your right, goes up like this. And then we have the S, and the S starts on your left. And it goes circling around a little bit there. S. And the G. So the G we go up like this. Okay. So those are the cursive letters you'll be working with today. In part L, you will make the lowercase letters of the uppercase ones that you're going to be making. You'll also be making an F today. Remember to get your little thing in there for the F to make sure it's not a T. So yeah, you can work at cursive again. Try to do a really neat job in it. Now let's turn over to spelling. Spelling on page 47. So we will review prefixes in your spelling words. Let's find the prefixes, find and circle the prefixes in these words over here. So we have pretend is the first word here. So the prefix will be P-R-E. Alike, the prefix is A. Become, became, and belong, you have the prefix be. Delay, the prefix de. Report, the prefix is re. Unwise and unhappy, the prefix is un. Enjoy, the prefix is en. Okay, and prefixes are letters added before the root word. Suffixes are letters added after the root word. Prefixes are letters added before the root word. Okay, and now let's, if you're not in spelling teaching box, turn there with me now. So we have a teaching box there, and it is things that we kind of went over in our suffixes chart, but I'll just go with you again just to make sure you understand it. So be on page 47 in the teaching box there. And it says, number 1, when a word ends with a consonant and Y, change the Y to I before adding a suffix, just like, and they have an example there, tiny. So they have a consonant and a Y at the end of tiny. So you will need to change the Y to I and then add the suffix. Number 2, when a word ends with a vowel and Y, just add the suffix. Like we have the word toy, so you have a vowel and a Y, so you would just add the suffix like toys. They didn't change anything. Number 3, when a word ends with silent E, drop the E before adding a vowel suffix. So you have the word ride, it ends with a silent E, so you will drop the E before adding a vowel suffix. And your vowel suffix is ing, I is a vowel, and so you will need to drop your E before you add the vowel suffix. Okay, I think we covered everything today, basically second grade. Yeah, just be careful on your titles also in part F. And remember that small words are usually not capitalized in a title. And always, unless it's the first word or the last word, you will always capitalize it. And then also the words, the big words in the middle. Okay, I'm gonna let you work now, and I hope you have a good day.